Greetings, beauties of planet Earth. Is your girl here, busy in my grandmummy's shed today, and I'm actually getting ready to do a market next weekend. I'm going to be selling my teas. I'm going to be selling smudges, soaps, perfumes, jewelry, lots of good things. So I've been doing that, and I've actually, helped clean out my grandmother's shed because I mean, look how old this car is. It's a vintage. It's my uncle's car. He could get a lot of money for it if he wanted, but this car has not moved ever since I was a kid. And now it's just full of shit. However, so the question has been asked by B. Hey B, what do I think about using curses and black magic for protection? Be it protection of family, protection of friends, just protection in general. The short answer is this: no, 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 no. I've witnessed too much, and I know too much to know when you dabble on the dark side of any kind of witchcraft or occult practices, you're only asking for trouble. Why would you go to the dark when you could very easily go to the light? And I know to many people that black magic seems like a sexy thing to use in one's life, but it is not. And it's dangerous, and you will cause more harm than good. You can get protection in so many other ways. I have never endorsed the use of black magic, and if you want to use black magic, it's to your own consequence, to your own responsibility. It's your choice. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to me, but take it from a witch. Take it from an alchemist, someone that can manipulate and manifest reality. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You will only incur karmic debt. Because what black magic essentially is setting, there's so many facets to it. There's so many facets to black magic. But you are calling up, you are conjuring the darkness, the lower vibrational energies of the world and of the universe, those that require sacrificial prerequisites, those that require you to do harm, usually to someone or something. I do not support that at all. That is not the magic that I represent, and that is not the alchemy that is used in my lifestyle. I would say if you're going to do this, it would be a poor choice. And if you really understand the foundation and the mechanics of how dark black magic works, you would never do that. There's no need for it. There's no need for it. And there are too many stories and too many things that I've seen and things that I know that why would you go to the dark? You don't need to in order to meet your objective. There are so many other ways of using and making and creating protection. Why would you not want to conjure the forces of radiance and light and goodness and goodwill and balance and harmony? Why would you ever think about going to the dark? It's so unnecessary, and take it from me, it's not worth your trouble. It is not worth your time. I shared a story one time years and years ago, and I have brought this up on several occasions, of a lady in the Middle East that only performed black magic. And for whatever reason, if it was for her own selfish purposes of getting benefits in return, and many gifts perhaps from these creatures that you work with. This woman performed black magic, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but people would go to her for end results, meaning people died, meaning going to her for hexes, curses, bindings, basically that could not be undone. And the reason they couldn't be undone is because this woman would go to a grave. I don't know where she went to do this, but she obviously went to graves where dead people were, people's bodies, and she would bury the curse. She would bury this magic in the cheek of this skeleton or of this corpse. How the hell would anybody find that to be able to undo that, unless you were a gifted clairvoyant or a psychic that could pinpoint where that was? Nobody could. You know, the regular person wouldn't know these things. And there was another instance of somebody who was a friend in Dubai talking about how his uncle was working, I'm pretty sure it was his uncle or his nephew or cousin, but a direct relative, and they all knew about it in the family. He was working directly with the jinn over in the Gulf. And if you don't know what the jinn is, you can look it up, but basically working with the jinn to have these supernatural powers, and he had them. This man literally, he did not ever own a passport, and yet I remember, for example, this friend was telling me how they were down in Thailand. They had a call from the uncle within like 5 hours. This uncle just appeared in Thailand, just there. They always spoke about how his eyes were always bloodshot, and he would always give huge fruit offerings and offerings of, I'm sure, animals. I have no idea what he was offering, but the food would be gone. The food was gone in the room. And he often went to Oman. There was something about Oman, God, it was so long ago, and I can't remember if he was doing some work in Oman and they were all back in Dubai. You know, all the men sit in these areas called majlis or majlises. And, you know, like within an hour, this uncle appears and he sits down with them, and he has said, you know, they have seen this uncle levitate, do things. But you know what? He died a really, really horrible death. And because he had had enough. He didn't want to work with the jinn anymore. But the jinn threatened him, saying, if you leave us, we will kill you. And they did. And he had the most painful death where he couldn't urinate. They had blocked his urination, and he literally became poisoned to death. And I mean, you could only imagine it would have been a very, very horrible way to go out. Anyway, look, you know, there's it's just not worth it. There's so many consequences of doing this kind of work. You've really got to know your stuff. Occult practices anyway, I just don't understand why people would ever even considering going to the dark. You know, whatever warped decision that is. Anybody that is someone of the occult way and the alchemic way knows you do not need to go to the darkness to achieve fantastic results and the objectives that you are desiring. There's no need for it, you know. So no, I would suggest no. I would suggest you do not even think about it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So, but you know, it's a shame because magic and witchcraft, it's given such a bad rep anyway, when in actual fact it's such an old science of the world, and it's such a natural way of the world. You know, we are all alchemists, natural born alchemists. Some people are more tapped into it than others. But, you know, witchcraft has been given a really bad rep, and that is due to, you know, a lot of religious incorporations in the world, a lot of, you know, religious institutions, because anybody that knows magic properly knows it's an earth science. It's old, it's so old, and it's working in accordance with the natural laws and the essence of all that is. There's nothing dark about it. You know, there isn't. If you know and do your research about it properly. You know, you do not need to harm anything or anyone to protect yourself or to get anything that you desire in your life. You are more powerful than you know.